when we talk about lifetime value of a customer, what we're talking about is how much money that customer is going to spend with you, and specifically how much profit you're going to make from that customer over the course of doing business with them. For a lot of you, and this is a major mistake people make when they're starting to sell on Amazon, or when they're starting to sell via Shopify store, or really when they're selling on any platform online. They're thinking about making the initial sale, and they're not really thinking about, okay, the cost of acquiring that customer and how they're going to keep that customer coming back. Because once you sell somebody, you've formed that relationship, and it's much less expensive moving forward to sell them something else, to sell them an additional product or an additional service than it was that first time. You've already captured their attention, and you've captured their wallet, so to speak. So it makes sense for you not only to utilize them to capture that client for as long as you possibly can, but to enter into the whole process with that thought in mind. In other words, you're not thinking about just selling them something one time. You go into the entire sales process thinking about selling them multiple times. And I don't mean selling them something and then offering them an upsell after they've added it to the cart, or offering them an alternative product when they've added it to a cart. I'm talking about being able to come back, a week or a month or a year later and resell them on an additional product. So we're talking about a long-time commitment here, and planning for that commitment in terms of choosing your products, setting up your online presence, and in terms of how you communicate with that client. Okay, so let me give you an example. Say that you have a Shopify store and you're selling tents. You've got expensive tents that are designed for serious expedition type camping events. We're talking major mountain climbers, things of that nature. And you've got some backyard tents that are designed for people to put their kids in and let them sleep outside in the backyard for a few days. Very different products, very different clientele. Well, if you try and market some type of high-end expedition gear at a later date to the people that bought a backyard tent, they're not going to buy from you. Just like if you try and sell the guy who bought the expedition tent some type of backyard game that would be fun for the kids to play while they're sleeping in the tent, well, that person's not going to buy from you either, because that just doesn't fit their needs. That's not their lifestyle. That's not what they want. Well, this is where having a niche can be maybe not an ideal thing, but having what I would think of as an expanded niche to work in can actually work in your favor. And that is, if you're selling tents on your store, and let's say you have a selection of maybe 12 tents, have those broken up into like backyard tents, into family camping tents, and into the more serious expedition style tents. And then have some products either already online or coming into your sales funnel that can appeal to each one of those different categories of people. The people that have a need, like I said, let's say they're talking about a family tent. This is maybe a 10 by 20 foot tent that cost a few $100s, that they're going to go to a campground somewhere, they're going out in the woods somewhere, they're going to a national park, and they're going to set up for a couple of days. And it's kind of a casual tent just for the family to enjoy the outdoors. We're not talking about something that's designed to withstand crazy weather and high winds and things of that nature. Well, that person would be an outstanding person to sell campfire accessories to, things to cook over an open fire, things to grill hamburgers or grill fish over an open fire. Anything that you can think of that would make a campsite more enjoyable. Maybe some folding chairs, maybe some type of outdoor lighting, whether it's like a tiki torch type thing, or some type of portable battery powered lighting. They might be a great person to sell the citronella candles to that keep mosquitoes away. There's a variety of things that they might need in addition to that tent that you can sell them at a subsequent date after their initial purchase. You are increasing their value as a customer over time, and since you have their contact information and you're remarketing to them, your cost of reacquiring them as a customer and having them do additional business with you is very, very low. This is where you start making serious money, by marketing things in this fashion. Same thing with the guy who's buying the Expedition tent today. He may have need for, a high performance sleeping bag. He may have need for an ice pick, or some type of climbing gear. There are a variety of things that person might need that you might want to make available to them at a later date. Finding things to sell to these people, once you've already identified a market that's willing to buy from you, finding things to sell to these people is a relatively easy process that should not take a lot of your time. And then now that you can contact these people via email or via your custom audience and your lookalike audiences, your cost of acquiring them again or reacquiring them and getting them back into your store or back onto your listing is relatively low compared to that initial acquisition. So again, this is where the real money is made. It's not the first sale, it's the second sale, the third sale, and it's maximizing the lifetime value of that client over a period of months and years. So bear that in mind, and just in parting, give you a couple of examples of particular activities that are really good for this. Again, camping is one that comes to mind, just like I've used as an example here. But people who play golf, people that are into fishing, bass fishing in particular, everything these people touch, you can sell them. Whether it's monofilament fishing line, whether it's sunscreen, mosquito repellent, accessories for the boat, rods and reels, you name it, you can sell them things related to their passion over a long period of time. It doesn't have to be just a one-time purchase for them. You've spent a lot of money probably to get them into your store or onto your listing. Don't minimize that value. Maximize that value. Get them back into your store. Get them back onto another listing at a later date and sell them again. The cost of that second and third and fourth purchase to you in terms of ad expenditure is going to be a fraction of what it was initially. So you're really maximizing the value of your ad spend, and you're maximizing the value of that client over time. So keep that in mind. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.